Hey guys, it's Brendan Borman, back from their 270 video. Today's new candidate inside the 270 game is Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Happy February 22nd, 2021. I'll be playing against Joe Biden 2020 and my good pal Oscar, who I'm also coaching on the side. I'm going to be teaching him a little bit about the savers tactics, and just like how Republican Josh Hawley can be a thorn in people's sides, I'm going to be a thorn in doing the savers tactics. So I'm either going to go Old South swing or Old South manufacturing, hoard a bunch of cash, and show him how you can put pressure on your opponent with a large cash sum. So hope you enjoyed today's video. For those of you who don't know Joshua Hawley, he's an up-and-coming name in the Republican Party. He's very, for lack of a better term, controversial. He's had very main kind of arguments with AOC on Twitter and over some issues, so that'll be a fun matchup to play inside 270. But he's originally from Springdale, Arkansas. I know a little bit about him because I am from Missouri, but he was the Attorney General of Missouri. So he ran back in 2016, and he defeated Kurt Schaefer in the Republican primary, earning 64% of the vote. But really, I came to know him in the Governor Eric Greitens scandal. So for those of you who don't know, in December of 2017, there was a scandal with Eric Greitens and some of his staff where something about, there was an affair going on and all kinds of legal issues. And anyway, Greitens was the attorney on the case, and he refused to indict Eric Greitens at the time. Now, once Eric Greitens put in his letter of resignation, then Josh Hawley did sign off on that. But in February 2018, Hawley joined 20 other Republican-led states challenging the Affordable Care Act. He's famously against big tech, and so I definitely think that he could be a pretty staunch Republican inside the game with maybe, a big conservative or evangelical bonus, but he definitely has to have a negative high-tech bonus. He was sworn in as a senator here on January 3rd of 2019. So he's been very much against the Hong Kong protests in the 2020 election. He was a big supporter of Donald Trump. And when the January 6th of this year, when the whole U.S. Capitol and the storming, he took a verbal part on social media, and he gave a fist salute to pro-Trump protesters outside the Capitol. So anyway, think what you may about Joshua Hawley, but he is definitely controversial. So it'll be fun to play as him when you're doing some recreations or some hypothetical 270 games. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about Joshua Hawley. I did share his player card in the beginning of this video, but it's kind of an interesting game so far. So because Joe Biden pivoted from swing states over to California, that does minimize my path. I'm going to be able to get oil and gas on top of Old South and manufacturing, but I think Biden has the clear path to New York, which will give him the big three of California, New York, and Florida. So this is at a spot where if I was playing against a better player, no offense to Oscar, I would be a little bit worried right now. But what I'm going to do is just go up and set myself for that African-American bonus. Now, if he does steal North Carolina, that would be maybe something to worry about, but I can close it off or steal Florida or Arizona very soon. So what I need to do is get some cash built up so I can start with my strategy here. There's Latino and high tech for Biden, as well as export. So he now all of a sudden has the bonus advantage. I wasn't thinking about export, but of course having the big three will definitely do that. That leaves African American up for grabs, ag up for grabs, and town and gown. Now, town and gown will also go to Biden, but as far as agriculture goes, that's still a toss-up. I could prioritize that if I wanted to, but I'm going to put a single pip of pressure into Florida. So Florida will be the first big state, as well as California, that I will pressure. I think I'm going to leave New York alone because it needs to be real pressure. Otherwise, he will not defend. And so now we do have 4 bonuses. It's 5 to 4. I'm going to lock out New Mexico. Just in case he steals Colorado, I'll still keep that oil and gas bonus. And I'm going to go up in D.C. And I'm going to go up in Tennessee so I can keep my AA bonus even if I do lose. Okay, so big defense there in Florida. Looks like that's all he spent, or it's just plain defense. So this is what I'm trying to work with on Oscar. So no worries. I'm going to go ahead and now defend North Carolina because I have all this bonus money. He is not locking off Arizona, which is interesting. But let's go ahead and get into some of these ag states. So it's turn number 10, 1 minute timer. It's a little bit harder to think during 1 minute timers, but what I'm doing is just giving myself options. And it is a relatively close game. I do have to prevent a ballot push, but because a lot of states aren't getting locked in, I'm not too worried about it right now. Let's look at California, already way up there in pips. So what I can do now is pressure New York. I have that AA money, that's now real pressure. And then I'm going to put a couple pips of defense in Arkansas, North Dakota, and Alaska, just maybe blocking a ballot, just in case somehow he's able to enter all the states and maybe lock like California or something crazy. So there's a block in Alaska. So now I can go ahead and skip my turn. So now I can go and enter into some open states. What I'm going to do is all the white states, I'm going to go up 1 pip. All of the ag states, I'm going to try to secure the agriculture bonus. And I'm going to use my manufacturing to flip Wisconsin. Now, Pennsylvania did get locked. Otherwise, I would think about maybe going for swing, or don't really have to at this point. Swing state would be somewhat useless. So I'm going to let the timer run down. I have 4 pips worth saved up in California. But we're already at 305 electors, so now we have the ag bonus. 1.63 million. And look at New York. Look how much defense was required to defend New York. This is not how I typically play, but it's a pretty valuable or viable, both valuable and viable strategy, especially in multiplayer, to kind of know when to pressure, when not to pressure. A more seasoned player would have definitely put the hammers down against me if I would have done this against them. But that's 305 EVs. No ballot. We have no either block or no entry into Montana. Let's go ahead and max these states. Just try to get as many EVs sewed away as possible. Still have 240,000 of oil, 125 of ag, 165 of manufacturing, and over $800,000 of pure cash. So we lock Alaska. See if Montana gets entered into. It looks like it does, so we should have a ballot. There we go. And now let's just lock where there's pressure and defend, or try to steal some of the cheap ones. So I'll let him have the big ones. I'll steal Iowa. I'll steal Washington and Oregon. And I have this manufacturing money. Did he steal Arkansas? He's sealed up Ohio. So manufacturing's worthless, but that's okay. It's all about getting 270. California is sealed. Iowa flips. And that will do it. Let me know what you think about Josh Hawley. If you guys have any words of encouragement, leave them below. Also for Oscar, he's an avid fan of the channel, and I'm working with him to improve as a player. So thank you so much for jumping on short notice and playing. I look forward to playing some Josh Hawley versus AOC, Josh Hawley versus Harry Truman for an all-Missouri matchup. But until then, and until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next 270 video.